Hello guys, this is Adeboye. I was just going to demo my software. It's called Console Craft. It's like a WYSIWYG and it helps you with building Upwork sample sets, just doing drag and drop. So first I'll walk through the installation process. I'll open the folder and go into the release. um, when you go to the website where I would have the software uploaded, you would have this console craft setup. So this is one of the ways you can install it. If you follow the setup, it will install on your computer. But I know some people prefer to have the portable version, which they can carry around on maybe a flash disk and use in other systems. So I'll be uploading both the setup and the portable version. The portable version just runs out of the box. The setup, you just have to go through the installation process, but then it will put it in your programs. You can't accidentally misplace it and things like that. So I would rather have the setup. So I'd walk through the setup for now. So this is the welcome page. We press next. This is the license, MIT license agreement. I agree to it. I want to install only for me. Yes, I want it installed in my programs, console craft directory. You can change the directory if you want it installed there elsewhere. And now I'll just click install. And now I'll have it run automatically once it's loaded. So I'll click finish. And now it opens up the software. So now this is where we're going to be doing most of our work. Like I said, everything is drag and drop. It's very, 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 very easy to use. This on the right side is the properties panel, and this is where you get to change things. So this page is called console, and I kind of like the name console, so we'll keep it at that. Now, let's say we want to change the background of the console. I'll just click upload background image. And let me come into my assets folder. I like this. So I'll use this image. And now this image that I've selected, the width is 2600 pixels and the height is 1300 pixels. So here also, I'll make sure I set the width and height of my console to 2600 and 36 and 1300 to match the background image I'm using. That way, everything is showing the way to show in Upwork, if you understand what I'm saying. So now I'll change this to 2600 and this I'll change to 1300. So now, as you can see, the image fills up the entire screen even at 75%. I'll drop it down to 25 and now you can see everything. So let's walk through the first things. So it's asking for the name of the organ. So I don't know, this can, you can give any name. The reason why I built this software is because I was planning on doing like a sample set for Cathedral Church here in Lagos, and I was going to record the organ and do all the sound processing and then write the ODF. So immediately I started to study the structure of Upwork's ODF. I just discovered that I can actually easily write a program that would automate these things and make it very, very easy. So that's why I built this. I've not yet started work on the recording of the organ. I can't afford the microphones needed to do the recording. So that I guess I'll start at another date. But I'll give the organ a name. So I might say Christ Christ Church Marina, and short name. This is just a short name for the organ. I'll just say CCCM. And we've already put the width and height. Now the sample package name. These are names that Upwork expects you to give to your organ. You can leave the default, but I would usually change them. So sample packet name, I might call CCCM2, and then the short name, which is the short form of it, also CCC. Now the supplier's name, that's the name of the person supplying it. That's myself. So I'd put Adeboye Thompson. Now, the program automatically generates these IDs for you. You can have it regenerate all three IDs if you want. I'm okay with this, so I'll go with this and leave it. But you can manually change any of these numbers to whatever you want for yourself. But the program will automatically generate it. You can change it. You can also have it generate IDs for you. It generates it from the 800,000. So those are the ranges that Upwork gives for people doing CODM type work and things like that. So this is our first page. For now, I'll just show that we can add a second page. So right now, I'll put a second page, and you see it's asking for the name of the second page. I'll just say right jam. So like for the right console jam. Um, for this, I might just leave the background as is. Later on, I might change the background, but I just wanted to put this there right now just to show you that we can have a second background, a second page. Now, back to our organ. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pedal board. So I'll come here and I click add pedal, and immediately I can just drag the pedal like right about here and put it in here. Now, this is not how the pedal will appear in Hauptwerk. It will appear differently in Hauptwerk. It will show with the Hauptwerk graphics. This is just showing my own graphics. Now, these are properties of the pedal. The division code for pedal is 1. The name is pedal, 32 notes. This I will change to 36. In fact, I need to modify that on the program before I ship it out, because for instance, I mistakenly made the default 24. So right now I've changed it back to 36, and I want it to show just on the console page. If I click here, you see it's showing me I can have this pedal show on the console page. I can have it show on the right jump. If I add more pages, it will give me the option, but I want it to show on console. Also, it's very important to enable wind model for this division. If you don't enable the wind model, then it wouldn't run. So please make sure you enable wind model. Now, enable divisional pistons. If you want to add divisional pistons for the pedal, then you can add them. For now, I'm not going to add divisional pistons for the pedal. I'll add divisional pistons for the manuals. So again, now if it's the with the manual, now I can come and now say add grades, for instance, and I'll drag this in here and just position the grades right here. Right about there is fine, and this is okay. So now we can enable divisional pistons. Now once I enable divisional pistons, you can see this come here. So I'm just going to put them right under here. If I want to shrink the space in between them, I just press shift and now drag them close. I don't know if you notice, but it's shrinking the space in between them, and I can still drag the divisionals straight like this and just paste them. Again, if you guys have any issues with all this, please just let me know. This is just the demo. Next, I would add the swell pedal, the swell manual rather, not the swell pedal. And again, I'll drag the swell manual and place in here. I can zoom in, so maybe say 50. That way I can see better and align everything properly. So now I can drag this here. Again, you can change the number of pistons. You can change the style of pistons. You can also change the position of the pistons. Just the properties panel enables you to add a lot of things. If I wanted to add like a divisional cancel button, I could enable that too. But I don't really want a divisional cancel button. But you can see that. So if I wanted that, I'll just bring that here and put here. So that will be the divisional cancel for the grades. Don't worry, I would show how it's going to look on Upwork. in a minute, so you see it won't show all of this. Again, a good way to set all these things. So like the Y for this is 903. So if I select these two, the Y2 should be 903. So that means they are lined up together. So the two are lined up. Now for the swell, I wouldn't put any divisional pistons to. Now if I click add other divisions, you can see it brings out the choir manual, the solo manual, the echo manual, the antiphonal, and I can even add more custom manuals. But Upwork only allows for 6 manuals, so I built this to bring in those 6. But again, if you do want to add more manuals, and say for instance other versions of Upwork allow you to have like 7 manuals that are all functional and can be coupled to with their own stops, then this will allow you to add custom manuals. So let's add the choir manual. I'll drag that in here, and let's leave that right there. um, so we have this here, and finally I would add like a solo manual. Drag that right here and position that like right about here. Again, if I were to come here and shift to 100, I'll be able to really align everything properly. So yes, this looks maybe what I'm going to do in another version is add like grid lines that would allow you to easily see things and pull them to snap to grid and things like that. So yeah, I'll leave this like this. So right now that we have this, I'm just going to export this quickly to Hauptwerk, so we just see how this would look in Hauptwerk. I know we've not added any stops or anything, but I just wanted to show the entire this thing process. I'll go ahead and save this project. It will ask me where I want to save it. I'll just say my desktop for now and save, which is very important. Now, before I export to Upwork, I'll click validate project. That way, I make sure the project is validated and would run if we go to Upwork. And yes, it shows reference image not checked, no file system access available. Okay, it says no blockers or warning, so it means I'm good to go. Everything is in green. So I click close, and now I'll just click export to Upwork, and it's going to ask me what folder I want to export. It usually exports like 2 files. So let me just create a new folder here. I'll call this my sample set, and I'll just select this folder. So it's telling me it has um, put these 2 files in my sample sets folder. So I just minimize this, and this is my sample set. If I open it now, you see I have it generates 2 files automatically, the organ definition and the organ installation package. So since we want to run this through Upwork's ODF or Upwork's CODM, first thing we'll do is we'll take this organ installation package, I'll copy it, and we'll go to Upwork's folder itself. So everybody probably has different places where it's installed on their PC. For mine, it's C, and then Upwork, and here I have Upwork sample sets and components and organ installation package. So I'll just copy that folder in here. Next, I want to copy the organ definition, and that usually goes inside Upwork user data, and you come to custom organ definitions. So again, I'll open this my sample sets, and you see the organ definition here, and you can see CCCM custom organ. So I'll copy this and I'll come in here and paste it, and so immediately we have that pasted in there. Just a minute. So now I would go ahead and open up Upwork. Yes, right there. Yes, continue. It's asking me if I want to add any sample sets. I'll take cancel. Then I come to design tools. I go to load custom organ and CCCM. That's the organ we just put. So you can see it already puts it right there. And I'll click OK. I'll click OK. I'll click OK again and click finish. And once I close all this, you can see we have our 4 manuals here. We also have our pedal board. We also have the divisional pistons. So these are the divisional pistons and this is the general console. Just to show you that everything is being controlled from our own end, I'll go ahead and add a stop for the great organ. So we can just test it and you'll see. So again, we'll go back to the software and I would minimize the window this time back to say 50% and I would say add stop and I'll drag the stop down here. So as you can see, it's saying new stop, that's the name. I'll give this a name, say open the app soon. Open the app 8. And again, I'll change the display name to open the app 8. The display name is what actually shows on the stop. And now you can see the stop is showing like round custom, the round version. This is what we show, but we can change it and I'll show you how to change that. Now it's important to change the rank name. The rank name. So each organ stop should have a unique rank. So I'll say great GT GT open the app as the name for the rank. Now it's asking me for the pitch. Since it's open the app person 8, the pitch should be 8. Now it's very important to set this right because if for instance I were to set this at 16 and it's a 8-foot stop, Upwork will immediately transpose everything an octave lower, which is not good even for say you want to extend a sample set to include 64 feet and you just have 32. There are better ways that I will show using rubber band, which is a software for generating or extending sample sets rather than doing that. But if you don't want to go through the hassle, you can select, for instance, 16, and this will Upwork to transpose the stop an octave lower, so it will be sounding like a 16-foot. But you want to make sure you select 8-foot here. Now, also important, it's important we select the division that this stop is going to play on. Right now, it's showing pedal. I will change it to great now. So now this stop is going to control the great organ. Now it's asking us, do we want to add any enclosures? No, I don't want to add enclosures. I don't want tremulants on the great. Again, I'll still show how to do all that. So now it's asking us for the folder for the sample. I'll say choose folder. I'll come into Hauptwerk and just choose like the folder for say sentence. So installation package 001 and this is open the Apple 8 large and I'll select this folder. Now if I do want to select the release which are optional, I choose folder. It will bring this up. So the short release is this one. I'll select this and it's important I put the time. So I set the time to about 200 milliseconds. That's the attack time. Oh, sorry, I did drag back on that. So 200 and then I'll choose the medium release. Come back and select 3 which is where the medium release folder is. I'll select that again and I'll set the time to 500 milliseconds. So now we've added a stop to the organ. So I'll click save just to save it again to my desktop where I had it saved, and I'll say yes. And right now I would say export to Upwork again. Would have In fact, let me validate again just to make sure everything validates. So it validates properly again. So I'll close and export to Upwork. Again, I would export to my sample sets folder. Don't worry about these ones that are there to just overwrite them. So I'll just click select folder. So again, we'll do exactly what we did before. I'll come in here, and this is my sample sets from my desktop. So desktop, my sample sets, organ definition, and I'll copy this, go into my custom definitions in Upwork and paste here. It's asking me to replace the one that is currently there. I'll say yes. Then I'll go back to Upwork again and go to sample sets and components, organ installation packages. We already have this here, but we are going to replace it with the new one that was generated. So I'll go back to my sample sets, organ installation package. If I do open this folder, you see it now has images. It also has sent and mostly great open the person, and you can see it has copied all the files, including the two release folders there. So we're just going to copy this entire folder, and we're going to come back into our packages folder here and paste it. We ask if I want to replace. I'll say yes, replace. So now we'll come back to Upwork. Oh, sorry, Upwork itself. That's right here. And I'll go back to design tools and say load custom organ. And again, we'll choose CCCM. But we've already changed the organ definition and added the new stuff, so it should update. So now I'll click OK, and it's asking me if I want to load the sample set. Like before we didn't choose any this thing, but now we have great open the app, which is the rank name, and it's showing here. So I'll click OK, that I should load it in 16-bit resolution, and click OK. So now again, it's loaded up, and now you can see the open the app. If I click on it, you see I can play the if I were to press the general cancel, which is what we had this piston for, you see it immediately shuts it down. Again, if I were to open this up and I pressed one of this, it will close it also, because those are divisional pistons. But we can add general pistons and a whole lot more. Then secondly, this was the right jump that we created. We didn't give it any default background image. So Afterwork just used its own background image. But again, this would be where we would add like stops for the right jump, and we'll do a separate background image for this in the next video. So this is the first video. I don't want to overcomplicate things. This is just the first video showing how to set up the software and how to get started in Afterwork 4 using it. This is complete drag and drop. We can move things around any way we want. Say for instance, I don't like where this stop is now, and I decide I want to move it away from there. All I need to do is come back here, and I can drag this down a bit like this. And also, let's say I want to show on the right jam page. All I do is also show on second page. I click here, and now when I go to right jam, you can see it shows here, and I can drag it around. I'll just drag it and put it in the middle, just to show that it works. Now I'll export our file again to the same folder, but this time there's no need to copy the package again. All I'm going to copy is the organ definition. That's the organ definition file, because we didn't really add any stop or upload any images. So I'll click this, I'll select this, and come into Hauptwerk, select Hauptwerk, come to Hauptwerk user data, and come in here, custom, paste here, and replace the current one. then go back to Upwork, and now I'll click Design Tools, Load Custom Organ, CCCM again selected, click OK, and OK. OK, finish. And now I can close out of all this. So now you see the open diapason that we selected in the center, and we try to place in the center is in the center. And if I go to console, you can see the stop tab has moved to where we moved it. If I click open diapason here, if I go to the right tab, you can see it's open. It's also on here. If I turn it off and go to the console, it's also off in the console. So now I can turn it back on in the console and I can play. And just before I end up things, I just want to show one more thing. I know I don't want to make all these videos long. I just want to keep them short and sassy so everybody can enjoy them easily. Now go back to console view. You can add like they call them patches, like name labels. So now this is for swell, and let me change the name of the label since this is great. And now you can see it shows great. If I were to load this in Hauptwerk now, it will just show with this great, and it will show using Hauptwerk's default. So again, let me just do that real quick and export and select again. So now again, I'll come back here, copy this custom definition from my sample sets. Sorry about that. So select this, come into custom organ definition. This is inside Hauptwerk's custom organ definitions, and paste here and replace. And now once I go back to Upwork and design tools, load custom organ and CCCM, I close out of this, and you can see it shows. All right, guys, so I really want to keep all these videos short. That was the first part of the video. I just wanted to show basic things. In the next part of the video, I'll show more customization. So for instance, changing out those nameplates, changing out stop tabs and things like that. So this will be the end of the very first video. In the next video would go into further customization. One thing I should add, you can also change like the size of the letters and things like that. So like if I were to come here now, the current style for this label is this label nameplate, and you can see it has font size. So I can change the font size, for instance, to like 14 pixels. Bedana, I think, is the standard. I can change it to italics if I want it italicized. If I want to underline it, I can underline it. If I want to turn off the bold, I can turn off the bold. So different things. For some reason, the what's it called just seems not to be applying the font size. I don't know why Artwork is having that quirk. It just seems to get stuck at 8 pixels. But again, once I find a solution to that, I'll be sure to update the software. So in the next video, I'll show more customizations, how to use your custom nameplates, how to use custom stops and things like that. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks and God bless.